What's happening, everyone? This is the Republic of Gaming podcast. I am your host, Ronan Fox. We have a very special show today. We have the E3 special. It's coming up this weekend, so we're going to be talking about that. With me, we have Kevin Toner. How are you doing, Kevin?
Not too bad, man. How's yourself?
I'm good, man. We struggled to get going here this show.
Yeah.
Look,
nothing but technical issues.
We'll push on. It's all about getting through them technical issues. We have Seamus Fanning.
Yeah, we have me again.
Are you
a little bit better today, you know? I probably won't look to the left as much because I don't have a TV there this time, if anyone asks.
You're in like high definition this week. What's going on?
I'm using my mobile internet instead of my actual house internet. It doesn't make any sense.
That's super weird. Is it 4G or 3G?
I think actually we're just on H. It's just my internet's that bad.
Oh, God.
And that voice you just heard there is the mysterious but well-known Platinum Jack. How are you doing, Jack?
All right, lads. I'm the man they were referencing last week.
So tell us, just off the bat, what is your Platinum that you got this week?
Ukulele. And it was a bit of a hard-fought one, I'll say that much.
How many times did you have to play it?
Oh, God. I think it took me about 26 hours altogether.
Did you have to do more than one playthrough, or was
No,
it...
no. You can do it in the style of usual collectathons.
Okay.
In the sense of that you can get it all before the final boss. So that's what I was doing. I was going to world, collecting everything I could.
So when you go to get a platinum, obviously when you get a game, do you go and actually look at the guides on how difficult it is to get a platinum, and then you play the game working towards those trophies, or do you actually just enjoy the game and then go back and get your trophies?
It kind of varies. If I'm enjoying the game, then I'll wait until I finish it and then go check the guide. But if I'm not enjoying the game, I probably won't get the platinum. It kind of varies from game to game. Like stuff like The Witcher 3, I wasn't planning on platinum until I actually played it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
and going out and doing it.
Enjoyment is a big factor.
Yeah.
But so ukulele, it was a good game, or was it just an easy platinum, or 26
hours? It was a good
game.
It was a good enough game. It was, as I said, it's similar in the vein to Banjo-Kazooie and the like, which is what they were aiming for. And
yeah, it was a kind of a carbon copy with a different aesthetic type of. Yeah, so that's what you've been jamming. You played God of War, was it recently as well? You got the platinum.
I got that about 3 days ago.
So 3 days. So you've got two platinums in a week. That's good going. And that's why he's called the Platinum Jack, people.
If you really wanted to go mad, I would say I've gotten 6 in the past month, but
now he's just bragging.
Nice. Name the 6 while we're on the trophy.
I think it was Goat Simulator, Rocket League, Rise of the Tomb Raider, God of War, Ukulele, and I can't remember the 6th off the top of my head.
How the hell did you get a platinum for Goat Simulator?
Follow the guide.
I
finish this off.
I turned that game on for 10 seconds and I ended up getting stuck in a wall, and I laughed like ridiculously. I think it's up on the YouTube. I laughed for about 10 minutes and then I said, I am never playing this game again, and turned it off.
You see, I got it back when it was relatively new out on the PS4, and I played it in college and thought it was hilarious. So I was like, it's only about a tenner on the PS4 store. I'll get that. And I played it for about half an hour and went, it's not as funny as I remember. Gave up on it, and I was like, you know what? It's an easy platinum. I'll finish that off. And I think I was done about 3 or 4 hours later. I had it. It's quite an easy one to get
on the PlayStation. I don't have any platinums at all.
Kevin, on to you. What are you playing at the moment? And
I've been playing. Actually, I downloaded DOSBox during the week for some really retro gaming. It's like a emulator for DOS, for MS DOS, for old PCs.
So are you talking about like the original Prince of Persia and Indiana Jones, those type of games?
I was playing King's Quest 5.
King's Quest. Is that a From Software game?
I have no idea, man, to be honest.
Am I thinking of something different? Possibly something different.
No, and I think it's a Sierra game.
Sierra, okay.
Yeah. But no, it's great. There's one. It was a bit difficult to get it going. DOSBox is a pain. There's a lot of coding and stuff that I won't really get into. But I eventually got it working, got the game working. They even had voice acting in it.
Jeez.
Terrible voice acting, but it was brilliant.
So was it a case that you spent longer actually trying to get the game working than you did play the game? Is that what you were at?
Big time, like half
So
an hour.
it's like this podcast, basically.
Spent more time setting up the podcast than we have actually in the podcast.
That's awesome, because I do the same when I'm modding stuff like Skyrim. I actually spend more time modding and going into the game and saying, oh yeah, that looks good, but I can add more mods, and it ends up it just breaks, and it's like, oh well, that was fun. Like, so it's like
delete one, delete two.
Yeah, most of the time it's just spent in the modding and looking at the coding and stuff. No, that's cool. So you're obviously more retro gamer?
No, I just I've been interested in it lately. I've been watching a lot of like people repairing old computers and all that sort of stuff. There's a great guy called the 8-bit guy. Okay. And he does all repair and retro tech, and do you know when old tech goes yellow, he'll put chemicals on it to make it go back white and everything.
Nice.
It's just mad stuff, and I've been really interested in it a while. It's a fad that I'll get bored of in a few weeks and go back to playing Fortnite or something.
So you're playing Fortnite as well with Paddy, yeah?
A little bit. Yeah. I got sick of it for a while, but I'm going back on it now.
You're going back. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to keep away, especially the fact that it's so polished and it's seamless now. You can just jump into a game. My son plays it a lot. Seamus, what have you been up to?
I bought the Sega Mega Drive Classics collection there for the PlayStation over the weekend. I've been dabbling through Streets of Rage and Golden Axe and all, and dying a lot in Shinobi in the last couple of days.
Yeah, well, I remember always dying a lot in Shinobi, so nothing's changed there.
It's gotten a little bit. It makes you realize how easy games are nowadays.
It really does. Yeah, I remember calling back to the original Prince of Persia, and I remember playing it recently, and it was I never got any further than I did when I was 10 years of age, and I just thought I was young and crap at video games, but no, it's because they were super difficult. What was the best experience on that collection? Is it worth picking up? And
well, it's got 50 games on it, like, and it's only €35 in like Dice GameStop and stuff, so it's always worth picking up. And also it actually has online multiplayer for games like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage and stuff, so me and Paddy have been dabbling in that.
That's pretty cool, actually. That's worth getting for that alone. I didn't know that now.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It brings you back to playing games with your friends in your bedroom kind of thing and stuff.
Online retro gaming. I think they're onto something there. That sounds cool. I'm going to pick that thing up as well.
Mr. Richman had a Sega in his bedroom.
And an Atari.
Yes.
Ooh. So you're going to pick up that new Atari that they're releasing? I think it's like...
The Atari VCS. No. Yeah. It has real wood, though. That is, they're advertising it with real wood.
Yeah, but it's real more expensive or something.
It's $300 for the real wood version, and it's $220 for one without real wood.
Or without
basically, it's just an Android box. Yeah.
Just nanobox.
Just whip out an old PS3 if you want something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll move it on a little bit. Last week was our first show of the Republic of Gaming podcast, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that dropped in, to everyone that gave us some, really nice advice as well as opinions over the week. We've been blown away, and we're hoping to do this every week, every Wednesday at 9:30. But no, it just it means a lot that we get feedback off the community. The Republic of Gaming community has always been a very positive place to get feedback on stuff that we're doing, and yeah, thanks a million to everyone who dropped in and listened to us. So now, kind of on with the main part of the show, we're here to talk about the E3 conference coming this weekend. It's starting on Saturday and it's ending on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday the 12th. So the first thing I wanted to kind of bring up with you guys is Sony released a bit of news during the week that they are going to be releasing information of a new game starting from today. They've released the game that they were talking about today up until their conference on, I believe Sony's conference is on Monday at sadly 2:30 in the morning, if anyone can stay up that late. But you're going to stay up for it, Jack, yeah?
Oh no, I'll be in work, so I can actually watch it in work.
Oh right, you'll be chilling out and making some money watching the Sony press conference.
That's exactly it.
So I have a list here of exactly what type of game they're going to release. So on June the 6th, which is today, they've already released a new PS4 game with PSVR support. And that game is, hold your horses now, people, Tetris Effect.
I was going to try fake a drum roll there.
I didn't give you any time. Sorry, the drum roll would have made it all the better. So Tetris Effect. You guys have seen this or seen a trailer? How did they announce it, or what were they kind of doing this?
Yes, I haven't seen that about now.
I saw the announcement, but I didn't really watch the trailer because Tetris wouldn't be something I'd be that terribly interested in, and just Tetris with VR capabilities.
It's a little bit weird.
Silly, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
blocks flying towards your head.
When I seen that it was like PSVR support, I was kind of like, I don't really have a PSVR, so I'm more interested in actually holding a controller in my hand. But look, what I do like about this is they're supporting the VR. The problem that happens with a lot of hardware from Sony is they don't support it enough. Vita got the same kind of treatment, so they're trying to give this the best possible support they can. So tomorrow it's a little bit more exciting news. We're going to be getting a release date for an upcoming Worldwide Studios title. Seamus, do you have any idea what this game could be, or what are they talking about?
I love you threw this question at me. I haven't got a notion.
Any opinions, guys? Or
you see, as much as I would love to say Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red is a Polish company, from what I remember, are they?
Yes, they're from Poland. Yeah,
so they wouldn't be considered a worldwide one. So it can't be them, unless it's going to be some Activision or another EA announcement or something along those lines. I don't know what it is.
I think the biggest rumor that's going around is that new game from Media Molecule called Dreams. It's kind of like a Little Big Planet-esque game where you create levels and you can upload your levels to the internet and people can play them. And there's been very little information released about it. I think it was actually last year, E3, we got some information and then it just disappeared. But there's been rumors that people have been playing it. It's now a playable game, I suppose you could say. So that could be it. I'm putting my money on it that it's going to be Dreams. But look, it could be anything. There's so many studios from Sony that it could be really anything. June 8th is just a new PS4 game. So, I mean, like, what is that going to be? Is it going to be a new IP? Is it going to be maybe a sequel? Are we going to get to hear maybe Horizon 2 is coming out? Bloodborne 2.
Exactly what I was about to say.
You were going to say Bloodborne 2?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
I think it's time. Myself and Paddy were throwing information back and forth earlier, and we could actually probably go into a little bit of detail about this later. But that new trailer from Software showed the Shadows Die Twice. You believe it's a Tenchu game?
Yeah, that's a line from Tenchu.
I don't believe it's a Tenchu game, and I don't believe it's Bloodborne 2 either. I think it's actually a new IP called Shadows Die Twice. But look,
spanner in the works.
Either.
Sorry,
Code Vein.
Code Vein's not by From. Is it From Software that's doing Code Vein?
No, I don't think it is.
No, neither do I.
Because I remember seeing, I think it was From Software or another company. They were doing a Dark Souls-esque, Bloodborne-esque style game, but in kind of an anime visual sense.
That is Code Vein, yeah.
Code Vein, but it's not From Software. It's in the same style, supposedly. It's a little bit quicker. I think the gameplay is sped up. There's different elements, but it's Souls-like, if you want to call it that. But anyway, June the 9th, we have a new PSVR game. And June the 10th, we have an eagerly anticipated VR game going to be released from Sony. So what I want to put to you guys is, do you think it's good from Sony that they're kind of getting ahead of the pack here and they're almost leading the charge coming into E3? Like we're a couple of days out and already Sony are making their mark. Do you think this can be a good thing, or do you think it could dampen their effect on the show floor?
Well, I feel like if they're willing to put stuff forward now, that they're saying, oh, this is stuff's going to come out, what have they actually got in store for their own conference? It has to be that much bigger for it to actually for them to actually put this stuff out now and say, well, this is stuff that we have coming up. It's it's like the stuff that's coming up now doesn't really matter. Like the stuff that they're going to announce is going to be huge, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a good opinion. Jack, do you have any?
But the problem being with that is we don't know about one of these games. This could be a new IP that they're releasing before E3. Why would they release it before E3 unless they want to build up hype for something that they're going to release during E3? They could fall flat on their face with this. It could do really well. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but at the same time, they could fall flat with it.
Do you have anything to add, Kev?
I just think from the games that we have heard about, Tetris and this possibly Dreams game, I don't think it's going to be a major IP. I think it's just going to be fun individual 10 or 15 euro games, that kind of thing. Just a little bit extra, just teases, and then we'll get into the main meat at the actual show, you know?
Yeah.
I have a spanner to throw in the works.
Go for it.
Because we're talking about big studios, could it be Death Stranding? Could it be the Kojima game?
Possibly so. I definitely think we're going to see some Death Stranding. We have to. We're going to see some gameplay of Death Stranding without a shadow of a doubt. If they do it before the conference, who knows? But we're definitely going to see it. I know for a fact. I think there's rumors actually that Kojima himself is going to be playing that game. Whether it's going to be the conference or whether it's going to be in one of the rooms in the background, we don't know. But that's actually one that I'm really looking forward to. Seamus, thanks for bringing that up. Super weird, super original, and it's Kojima, and I've every ounce of my body wants to support him for the way Konami treated him. So big up to him, and I hope he blows the show out of the water. So next we're going to just move on to each day and each conference, and we can throw in our opinion on exactly what we think, and maybe some predictions that I don't have wrote down here. So on Saturday, June the 9th is the EA conference. Now, EA have been thrown under the bus by their own fault, to be quite honest with you, this year with their loot box system in Battlefront 2. Then they stripped it back, and it's just been a little bit messy year for them. They've got some serious slack over the Battlefield 5 trailer. We talked about that last week. It's probably a little bit, harsh, the fact that they're getting stick over the game not being historically accurate and there's girls in it. Like, it's ridiculous. Carry on. We talked about it last week. But their big game, and I want to talk to you guys about this, their big game that I think is going to be really just everywhere in this show is Anthem. And it's the Destiny style game. I believe it's from BioWare, the guys that did Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. They didn't do Andromeda. It was a different team that did Andromeda. But they are, they haven't done anything since Mass Effect 3. They've been working on Anthem. We have only seen snippets of game. We can't even call them gameplay. Snippets of that game, which look incredible. And I hope this show is going to show us, gameplay and what exactly Anthem is about, and if us four can jump in on a game and have some fun. Seamus, what do you think of Anthem? Are you interested in this game at all, or are you just going to let it pass by?
It's not something I've looked into much, if I'm honest. I remember hearing about it ages ago, and I kind of just one of those things that kind of went in one ear and out the other. You put EA in front of anything like that, I kind of it puts me down. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be something they're going to destroy. It's like everything else that they're doing at the moment. Everything, like they're going to give you a game for 60 or 70 quid, and then you're going to have to pay an extra 10 or 20 quid every couple of weeks just to get something else out of it. That's literally all I can see coming from EA soon.
Yeah, well, I think their strategy has changed in that sense. They're not going to be charging for the special. Well, they'll charge for a special edition, but they're not going to be charging for future DLC. Especially with Battlefield 5, they came out and said there will be no loot boxes, there will be no paid subscription that you have to pay for after you buy the game. So I think they're trying to change in a way to help themselves, but they need to have the games as well. They can't just be bringing out FIFA and Madden every year. They need to have those, those niche markets where they're trying to make a Destiny style game. And whether we're into Destiny or not, I played a lot of it, but whether you guys are fans of the game, that game was huge, and nobody was able to really copy that style of game. And this is basically EA's answer to Destiny. So I think this is going to be the big one for them, but time will tell.
Yeah, they really have a chance here, especially to take a lot of the market from Destiny, because Destiny had really ruined their reputation, with basically nothing of a story and just endless repeating gameplay. And just from what I've seen of the game, I actually remember watching the trailer of Anthem last year, and it looked absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and EA, again, I'm not the biggest fan. I wouldn't really buy their stuff, but they really have a chance, and the Mass Effect connection really has me interested in this game. So I'll definitely be looking at reviews when it comes out.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a snippet of gameplay. Hopefully a couple of people on stage playing that game. That's personally what I want to see. I don't like giving... What's that, Jack?
I was just about to say, let's just hope that is the case, because as they both said, I saw the trailer when it first came out. It looked phenomenal.
Yeah, it looked kind of nearly too good, like Watch Dogs when we first seen it at that E3 event. I think during the PS3 generation, it didn't come out, I believe, until PS4, and it didn't look as good as it did, when we first seen it.
Presentation,
yeah. So that's the problem we have with E3 and with EA, that their trailers can be a little bit lies. Battlefield 5 was the exact same. It's like a scripted gameplay trailer, if you get me. It doesn't look like a guy on a controller playing. It looks like it was programmed to look that way. And that can be a problem for me. But anyway, we'll move it on to Sunday. That's the only conference that's on the Saturdays, the EA one. Sunday is a little bit busier. We have Microsoft. Jack, what do you think Microsoft are going to bring to the table that are going to turn some heads? Because let's be honest, they need something to
get people really excited about. Need to bring something out. But as you've written down, that there could be Gears 5, and that would be one of the bigger things they could do. But it all depends on how they do it, because back when Gears 4 came out, a lot of people were hyped about it, but I heard from quite a few people, it kind of fell flatter than what they were expecting.
Yeah.
But again, Gears 5, it could come out, could be fantastic, or it could be terrible.
Kevin?
Well, to be honest, Microsoft, they haven't been doing great, especially on the Xbox front the last couple of years. And just, I'm gonna watch the thing, but if they just come out and say, "Oh, look, a new Forza game, a new Halo game," if that's going to be it, and just
it's like, oh wow, a new Halo game, and everybody loses their shit because it's a new Halo game. But it's, for me, it's just predictable, and it's kind of like holding on to. They're doing what Nintendo do with their properties. Only Nintendo make it exciting that they have, a new Mario is releasing. What are they doing differently? With the way Xbox and Microsoft do it, it's like, okay, these are our safe bets. Let's bring out a Forza. We have a big enough fan base that we're going to get a crowd cheer when we say, oh, a new Forza Horizon is coming out, a new Gears is coming out, a new Halo. I mean, they're the three franchises that you would associate with that system. Now, if you go back to the Sony system, you can associate 5 new IPs in the last 10 years or 5 years that don't have a sequel, that are original, and they're all in-house studios. I personally don't think Microsoft look after their in-house studios enough. I think they should take a little bit of what Sony are doing and allow their studios to have a little bit of creative flair. Yeah, go on.
Can I just say, or they can just do what Nintendo are doing. Like you said, Nintendo are doing have the same ones each year, but they're doing enough different with each game to where people are actually drawn in. Yeah. Like with the new Mario Odyssey, that was a complete overhaul for Mario. It was fully 3D, or like something bigger than what the 3DS games were, and now they're doing something different with Pokemon. And don't get me wrong, that's got a lot of people divided, but it's also going to get a lot more people into it. Yep. This is what Microsoft need to start mixing up their games. Like most people say, all the Gears games are very samey. They're all dark and gritty, and all that type of stuff. Halo, I've heard is the exact same. It's just the same game in year out. Just the stories are a small bit different.
Yeah.
What Microsoft really need to do is they need to change it up.
Seamus, what do you think Microsoft are going to bring to change it up?
I'm not too sure, but on the fact of like we're talking about them with their own original IPs, when they did Sea of Thieves, like that was supposed to be something that was going to take flight, and they expected it like for someone like people to start switching over and from PlayStation to Xbox and stuff. And this year they also got PUBG as their own as well, either of them, and yet in both cases it seems like they've fallen flat in their face.
Yeah, totally. And I think you can even see that with the whole Fortnite coming to PS4 and just blowing up in that system. It was, I think actually PUBG not being on PS4 helped Fortnite get the recognition and the kickstart it needed. Because I think if the two of them were competing on the same system, I don't think it would have been a clear cut for Fortnite to really push out in front. But the fact that it was free on the PS4, literally everyone was playing it. I know I was, my son was, everybody that I talked to was playing it. Nobody was even talking about PUBG that had a PS4 because they didn't care. They didn't know what this thing was. PUBG, okay, it's a hardcore sim like battle royale mode. Sounds difficult, and it is difficult. I've played it and I do enjoy it. But Fortnite is just, it's so much easier to get into. There is, don't get me wrong, more skill involved in Fortnite, I believe, because of the different elements of gameplay. But I think it really has given them a push. And like Microsoft have they just don't have the games. They can have the most powerful system they want, like, but what's the point of having, like, I mean, the Switch isn't a powerful system, but it still has awesome games. You know what I mean? I don't think it's about. I feel
like at this stage, Microsoft are getting zeros they're taking. I think that's like their biggest downfall this year now. Like they put a lot. Like you see it everywhere now. Even when you're looking at consoles, like you see a Thieves bundle and stuff like that. But the game itself, it hasn't done enough for people to want to move across. I don't think there's like the biggest thing about games this year though, is like the likes of Fortnite and stuff, because they're so big and they kind of take over the whole market. It's hard for any new games, new IPs to push through that barrier and get up to the forefront. So definitely. I think any new IPs this year are going to struggle.
But at the same time, if I've been told by a lot of people correctly, Sea of Thieves has just basically pulled a No Man's Sky on it. They promised so much, and they did not deliver on it. Like
No Man's Sky was Sony's fault, though. Sony picked it up for the advertising, and they pushed it as a AAA game, even though it was an indie game who needed to be followed and loved and developed over a couple of years.
By the sounds of things, Microsoft has done the exact same thing as Sea of Thieves. They did not learn from Sony's mistake.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, with all the credit, like I want to give those guys credit, they are still updating that game. And
the game is meant to be fantastic.
I mean, they're after bringing in multiplayer, or it's coming one or the other. But I mean, at least they're still supporting those games. And I don't mind if a game comes out with little content and then the developer supports and supports and supports, and in a year's time, yeah, like I think Ubisoft is a great example of doing that. They just support the hell out of it.
Sky is meant to be very, very good these days, from what I've been told. Anyway, so.
But like, if the best example that we can come up with is Sea of Thieves, I mean, come on, people, like. That's not going to blow the water. Like an online pirate game is not going to make people go out and buy a system. It's going to be these single player story driven games that everybody is talking about, and everyone is like, no, you have to play the story. It's some of the best writing I've ever seen. The characters are phenomenal. Not, yeah, I bought a new ship, I upgraded a gun, and now I can go and loot some treasure on an island. Like it's a different way of looking at it. I think multiplayer is important, but single player games are system sellers, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, I thought the last few years that... Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Kev, what were you saying?
I think Microsoft should take a note out of Nintendo's book, because Switch aren't trying to compete with PlayStation or Xbox, so they're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So I always thought Microsoft, they have the connection with Windows and Steam and the whole thing. Make hardware, make say like a $600 Xbox PC, and then it loads up and you choose, do you want to play Xbox or Windows? And you can have Xbox and Steam on the same machine for 600 or 800 or 1200 if you want to go for the big one.
So it's actually funny that you say that, because I do believe that Microsoft are going to turn around and say all our first party games you can play on PC now. go ahead. Like, and I think that might be, if we do hear that, I think that might be Microsoft basically throwing in the towel and saying, look, if you have an Xbox, that's fine, you can play these games, but you can play them on PC as well. And what I think that does is it helps the first party studios get onto, you know, a bigger player base and to sell more games. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think they do need to do something that will, you know, just change it, like backwards compatibility. Like, nobody wants that anymore. Like, I have a PS2, 3 and 4 on my shelf there, and if I want to go back and play previous games, you know, there's emulation out there, you can buy systems for next to nothing. Backwards compatibility, you need to stop holding on to that dream, I think.
As much as I'd love to myself, I have to agree with you, but that's because I don't have them all set up.
Yeah, it's a nice novelty, don't get me wrong, but it's not a thing that's going to turn many heads. Like, oh, here's games you can play from 10 years ago. Like, that's fine, and people love doing that, but I just don't think it's the way to push a system further into its generation and try and get people to really, you know, back that system. We'll move on to the next one because I think we'll have a lot kinder things to say about this one. Is on Sunday at 2:30 in the morning. Jackie, you working for that one? No,
I am indeed. I'm working all weekend.
So Jack is going to be our main man. He's going to keep the information coming in. We have Bethesda at 2:30 in the morning on the Sunday, and Bethesda have, you know, they're an amazing company, if you ask me. They've brought us amazing games like the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout, you know, Prey. We've got just so many good games from Bethesda. And last week we were actually talking about the trailer that released. It was the Fallout 76 trailer, and I want to kind of throw this to you guys because I want to see where you guys stand with Fallout 76. We know now that it's a survival game, online survival, much like Rust and what was the other game it was compared to? Rust and
Daisy,
exactly. Are you guys looking forward to another Fallout, Rust, Daisy game?
No.
I feel like the fact that the Daisy and stuff's coming to the PlayStation and stuff already, I think that's a market that's going to, when the original kind of comes out, people jump on that straight away. So they're kind of fighting an uphill battle anyway. I know people who love Fallout will buy it. Yeah, people who love those kind of games, I think, might just go for the likes of Rust or Daisy.
Yeah,
the ones that are kind of there at the start.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm a little bit not burnt out, but I thought Fallout 4 was, don't get me wrong, it was a good game, and I played possibly 20 or 30 hours, but it didn't do enough from the previous games. I thought it felt like I was just playing a little bit more polished Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. You said last week, Seamus, actually, that this could be their New Vegas-esque game to come after Fallout 4. But yeah, we found out that it's not. It's an online survival game. Could be very good. It could be not very good. But is that your number one flagship game that you bring to the stage? I personally don't think so. But another game that they announced is Rage 2. Now, if anyone here says they loved Rage 1, I'll get up and walk out here. But have any of you played Rage 1, no?
I haven't played it, but I do remember when it first got announced, it was kind of like, it was when they first announced it, they were likening it to Borderlands to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it got released and nobody liked it. Everybody tore to shreds. So I do not know where they're coming out with a second one.
Well, the only difference with this game is they actually brought on Avalanche Studios, which are the studio that did the Mad Max game, the recent one, which, Jack, I know you platinumed that recently. And
that was very, very good.
It's a great game.
Sorry?
Was that game number 6?
Possibly so, was it?
Yeah, that was actually number 6.
Nice. The Platinum Jack, we got you.
Yeah, that was Mad Max. Like, it was a long game and it did have its moments, but it was a fantastic game. Mind you, it got a bit samey with some of the combat, but the combat itself was very free-flowing. Think something like Batman, it was that kind of smooth.
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it as well. It was free on PSN there last month, I believe. Quality game.
It was free. Yeah, I do agree. It was a quality game.
Yeah.
One I regret not playing Zoner.
So Rage 2 is yeah, same studios as those guys. So I think if them studios can get together and really push that world that they created in Mad Max and some of the gameplay elements, I think Rage 2 is going to be more of a, I think it's first person, possibly team, like squad based online. I'm not exactly totally sure what it's going to be about, but I think it's kind of squad based online, and it's going to be in a post apocalyptic world. That's the kind of gist that I'm getting from that game.
Wasn't the first one is set in a post-apocalyptic world anyway, so it could just be a straight-on sequel from that then.
Honestly, I've no idea. I've never touched the original,
Because
and
I've
I don't
seen
know
some
anyone.
gameplay of it, and as far as I'm aware, it was set in a post-apocalyptic world as well. So I could be wrong now. I don't know. It's been a while since I've last looked at the game, but close enough anyway.
So other, like, apart from those two games, the Prey, we're getting a Prey DLC going by a Twitter leak, supposedly. A Twitter account leak came out and said that there was Prey DLC going to be announced. I played Prey for a little bit, thought it was interesting, but there was just something that didn't grab me about that game. So a DLC, it doesn't do anything for me, but have you guys played it, or?
No,
don't even know the game, to be honest.
No, I haven't
I have
played
the
it either.
original Prey, but I don't have the new one.
It's yeah, because the original was called Prey as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a completely different set. And if I remember correctly, it was you played as a Native American who got abducted by aliens, and compared to being an alien yourself.
Okay. Well, I know the newest one is you work for some corporation, and I do believe you get abducted and you're trying to fight your way through one of the spaceships. It's interesting. It's got some cool abilities.
My apologies to whoever's not played Prey. I've just realised what I've said.
Well, games.
So it's kind of like, I would call it Dishonored in space is the way I'd describe Prey.
The gameplay, I agree with you. Yeah.
So that's another thing that could come out or be announced is possibly Dishonored 3 or some DLC for the second one.
Could be was that Death of the Outsider?
Yeah,
was that a DLC or was that just a standalone? Because I know you could get a physical copy of it.
Yeah, I think it was a standalone kind of DLC that they release, which I like when games do that, because it feels like you're getting a good chunk of a game. It's not just, a new jacket or whatever to wear. But yeah, and that game is really loved. It was critically acclaimed, and more Dishonored is never a bad thing. I like the game. I won't say I'm a huge fan, but it's a good game. The gameplay is really good. Doom is another one. Doom came out and it was, it really rocked everyone's world.
It was really a real big surprise, the new Doom game.
Yeah.
I think that's an example of. I think the new Doom is an example of a team doing everything right, because it runs well on every platform. There was no there was no real problems. Like, everyone had a good go at it, and it runs on, like, even with PC, it runs on older machines for PC. It's very well optimized. It gave everyone a chance to play it.
Was it on Switch?
I think that's a really good.
It's after being released on Switch.
It is on Switch, yeah.
How does it run?
As far as I'm aware, it's meant to run very, very well. I don't have it myself, but I've heard of reviews and everything for the Switch, and it's meant to be running very well.
Nice.
They'd get nothing but grief if they didn't have it working, because it's kind of a bit of a joke on the internet. You can have the original Doom game running on literally anything. Some lad got it running on the little screen on his printer.
I saw that. That was quite impressive. I want to do it on a sat nav one day.
You can do it on a calculator.
Nice.
I've seen it being on a calculator, yeah, and I've also seen it done on the little light bar on a MacBook as well.
Mad.
So yeah, that's Bethesda, and the last thing I'm going to say about them is I hope to God that we see an Elder Scrolls 6 symbol come up at the end of their press conference, because, to be quite honest with you, another Fallout I think is a little bit early. I know with the online Elder Scrolls is doing very well, and it's understandable if they don't want to release another standalone offline game to compete with that. But I want to see we are working on an Elder Scrolls 6 game. I don't care if it has to come out 2 years, but I want to see something about Elder Scrolls 6.
I would love to agree with you there, Ronan. They've saturated the Elder Scrolls name with so many re-releases of Skyrim. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I
people are
totally
still
agree.
People are still buying Skyrim, and that's why I don't think they'll be releasing a new one anytime soon. As long as people are buying it, they have no incentive to release a new one.
Well, I hope you're all wrong.
I'd love if they just redid Morrowind. I love Morrowind.
That'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Morrowind. That was actually my first experience in the Elder Scrolls series.
I'd love a remaster of Oblivion because I loved Oblivion.
Oblivion was awesome as well.
Get Patrick Stewart back in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the next one is going to be a very quick one. It is Devolver Digital. They have nothing announced. Like, they're hush hush. They brought you games like Hotline Miami, Enter the Gungeon, those, small but really, really well developed games. I mean, Hotline Miami, I played that thing on Vita and I loved it. It was super addictive at the time. Ended up finishing it. Hotline Miami 2 was much the same, very similar, and it didn't grab me as much. But Hotline Miami 1 is a phenomenal game. The music in it is probably the best part about that game. Phenomenal music. So yeah, they're probably going to be announcing a couple of new games. It's always good seeing what those guys come up with. Possibly a Hotline Miami 2. 3 or what is it?
We want Broforce 2.
Oh, Broforce is another game, of course. Yeah, Broforce is phenomenal.
I just love the names in Broforce, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we actually all need to download that game and jump on that, because Broforce is super, super underrated.
Oh, unbelievably so. I haven't it myself. I just haven't played it very much.
Me and Paddy were powering through it there the other week.
I always love the pixel blood effect when you blow something up and it's just those pixel bits everywhere. I love that. Fantastic. I love that art style. It's just amazing to watch that. So we're going on to Monday now. Jack, you don't have to worry about this one. You'll probably be asleep, but after your night shift. But this is 6 p.m. in the evening.
No, I'll be awake.
Oh, you'll be awake. Okay. Trying to get some platinums, yeah.
Well, I'm working on Bloodborne next, so I could be.
You're working on what? Bloodborne?
Bloodborne, yeah.
Oh, I might have to jump in with you on that one. Before Bloodborne 2 is announced, am I right?
Yeah.
So on Monday at 6 p.m. is the Square Enix conference. Another big one. I mean, like, they've got some serious properties that they need to they need to talk about. I'll go ahead and say it right now. We are going to get a Kingdom Hearts 3 release date. It's going to happen, Jack.
I'm going to say that if we do not, I will riot. I will fly over to wherever they are and I will storm the offices and say, "Where is it? We need it!"
And I guarantee you that game will get the biggest roar in literally the whole weekend. It's going to be because
it won't be a roar of excitement. It'll be a sigh of relief at this point.
Yeah,
exactly. I'll be like, finally, because I've had a pre-order on that for the past 4 years in my local GameStop.
What would get the bigger roar? Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 7 remake?
Kingdom Hearts 3 has to be.
Yeah, I think people are a little probably a sigh of relief for they actually know that that's coming.
Yeah.
But look, we'll see what happens.
Hyped up for so many years. Like, Final Fantasy 7's only had a more recent announcement, whereas Kingdom Hearts 3 got announced years ago. But
Final Fantasy 7 remake got announced in 2015.
But that's what I'm saying. It's still more recent than what Kingdom Hearts 3 was.
Well, they had that Kingdom Hearts 2.8. It was the last one they did, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I still haven't played that.
1.5 and 2.8 and 3.4. Yeah, who the hell? Like, how can you get so confusing with a game that has Disney characters? Like,
isn't the Deus Ex team working on a new game as well?
Deus Ex,
yeah,
possibly, because I know they're not.
I don't think it's a new Deus Ex game. I think it's a new IP altogether, or they're working with someone on another IP.
Could even be working on the Avengers IP.
Yeah, which we'll talk about next. Square Enix have the rights to make an Avengers game, and we know absolutely nothing about this.
Actually, that's something that actually reminds me of. They actually also had the rights to DC a good 12 years ago or something like that as well.
And they gave it back.
No, something went wrong, because I remember hearing about it, because Tetsuya Nomura, one of the character designers, created the designs for the Joker, for Harley, for Catwoman, for Batman, but they were never revealed. And then maybe a year, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago now, they released figures of each of them, and it came out that they actually had the rights to make a game years ago, but something happened and they couldn't.
And now they're making standalone
Now they're
movies
making
of
Avengers.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, exactly.
So let DC go and do whatever they do. The DC universe, movie universe, is absolutely destroyed at the moment. But
And the animated universe is absolutely fantastic.
the animated is fantastic, and Gotham ain't bad either. I'll give that. It's
Gotham is very, very good from what I've
it's
watched.
fair due, but the
Gotham,
movie
you have to binge it though. You have to
you
binge
do,
Gotham
because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
50 episodes a season.
I think I was about halfway through the first season before I stopped binging because I didn't have the rest of them. But it's on Netflix, so I'm just gonna wait until I
Yeah.
have a day or two off and just binge the whole thing.
It's well worth a watch. But yeah, Jared Leto is having his own standalone Joker movie, which is a disgrace, to be honest. Only if you could bring Heath back and give him a standalone. But why would you have a standalone of the Joker? Like, I really don't understand it. Like, how can you have the Joker without Batman?
In recent years, and even in the past 2 or 3 years, the Joker and Harley relationship has become relationship goals for a lot of people. And it just makes no sense. And so because of that, both Harley and the Joker have had this upheaval in popularity, for lack of a better way of saying it. And so they're looking to keep riding that hype train, and by releasing a Joker standalone movie.
That makes me sad and sick at the same time.
Next thing we'll have is 50 Shades of Joker.
And it'll just be a whole movie of him beating Jason Todd with a crowbar.
There's actually a comic book out at the moment called White Knight, Batman
Yes,
White Knight.
it's fantastic.
Yeah. I haven't been reading it, but it's basically where the Joker says, what's the main thing I can do to mess with Batman? So the Joker turns good, turns Batman into the biggest criminal, and saves Gotham better than Batman ever could.
That's class.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal.
That's a really
I have the
interesting
whole
story.
sitting beside me here, and it starts off with the Batman just beating the Joker and shoving pills down his throat.
Oh, spoilers, Jack. Come on now.
This is in the first issue. If I really wanted to spoil it, I'd say how Joker does it, but I'm not going to, because it's really smart.
Right, so let's get back to Marvel, because that's how we started this conversation. So Square Enix are making the Avengers game. They have, they need to really, really come out with something that is like, they have a chance to make a game that everybody is going to buy. They've released little bits and pieces of information that I read. It's going to be possibly it is going to be online. I think you're going to be able to possibly pick one of the Avengers and play through as one of the main crew. But I mean, what sort of gameplay is it going to be? Is it going to be open world? Is it going to be more of an arena based game where you're fighting back? Like what is this game going to be?
Honestly, I'd
Jack,
love to see it in the style of The Witcher. That's the way I'd like to see it. But an open world, but kind of RPG style aspects to it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for something completely different. I'm hoping for more of like like the old Captain America games on the Sega and stuff, like the Streets of Rage kind of styles. I'm hoping to take it back, but like, the way that like the likes of tech and force mode and stuff. I'd love for them to take that aspect and bring it in, because then it's more like an arcadey way of playing it aspect as well, where you can have your friends in play as well.
They could even do it in the style of the old Marvel Ultimate Alliance games either.
Yeah, well, there was that game that was out. They stopped supporting it recently. Marvel Heroes, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was
the dungeon crawler
and everything else, I think. But it was a free to play, wasn't it?
Yeah, I played the hell out of that game.
So did I.
And then you just stopped supporting it. It's annoying.
I didn't play it myself because I'm more of a DC fanboy, but we won't get into that.
It's I think, Jack, the source material for DC is better, but I think the way Marvel have treated their movie universe is just beyond. Like,
I agree 100%, because then again, saying that, they did hit a good note with Wonder Woman. So if they can kind of keep on that track, they could do all right. But Marvel have just been hitting it home with every movie they've released recently.
See, Marvel learned their lesson with Iron Man 2, where they filled it with nothing but references, set up a big universe, and it ruined the entire film. But DC haven't learned that lesson yet.
And DC need to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the whole Microsoft Sony lesson I said earlier. So
We're getting off topic again, boys.
We are getting off topic. Let's move it on with Square Enix. Shadow of Tomb Raider is another game. They released a trailer for that. I personally think the reboot of Tomb Raider is a brilliant reboot. I think it does so much different to the originals, but it also kind of keeps the flair, that kind of feminine flair that Lara brings. And I was comparing the first game to Uncharted. I really thought it was that good. I loved some of the elements. I thought were actually better than the Uncharted series. I thought the gameplay was a little bit more flowing, but obviously the characters are a little bit different. Uncharted swing it that way, but I am looking forward to this trilogy being rounded off in what looks like the darkest game to come to the series. Have you guys played it, this game or this series? Or
I've played it since college. Played the first one when it came out, and it's just the game is so satisfying. Yeah. You work so hard to get through it and to upgrade your weapons. And when you get a new weapon, it is the best feeling in that first game.
And she gets her ass kicked in that
until you get the compound bow, and then no other weapon matters. The same goes with Rise of the Tomb Raider. As soon as you get the compound bow, no other weapon matters in that game. As long as you keep each of the different arrow types, you will fly through that game.
So everyone's looking forward to the Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Sounds like Jack's looking forward to that compound bow.
Yeah, yes. Once you get the compound bow, it's game over.
That's how I did the survival tests for the platinum in Rise of the Tomb Raider. Just use the compound bow, nothing else. Compound bow and poison arrows took out everything instantly.
Okay, let's push it on here, guys, because we're kind of running a little bit behind schedule, but it's okay. We can go over if we need be. Next on the cards, Monday 9 o'clock is Ubisoft. Now, you can say what you want about Ubisoft. I personally think they're an amazing developer. I think they've got better as the years have gone on. I think what I love about them most is their ability to release a game that is not fully fleshed out and to support it up until the point where people are like, do you know what? The Division is an amazing game now. Ghost Recon is an amazing game now. You know, all these games, like even Assassin's Creed, like, I mean, the Assassin's Creed Origins, I was blown away by that game. I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I like Black Flag, but the Assassin's Creed Origins, I think, did enough it changed up the gameplay. The world was fantastic. Ubisoft are one of my favorite developers out there, just for the simple fact of how they treat their games. But basically what we have for them, what they're hoping that I'm going to bring to the show is the Division 2 is going to be brought, supposedly anyways, the big rumor. Any of you played the Division?
No, I've watched gameplay.
I played a little bit of it, but I was more into Ghost Recon Wildlands. The Division was kind of a little bit too RPG-esque for me, but I know that game is loved.
I found the Division got kind of very quickly. It kind of started to just repeat itself very early on. You were just kind of doing the same things.
Yeah.
And I suppose like that there's not much you can do with those kind of games. So like it can only go so far. There's nothing new you can add to a game with guns. It's not like a Phantom Dragon or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But like there's only so many raids and stuff. I kind of find that with GTA Online as well. I think that's the level. They're only going to get to a certain level, and that's all they can do with it. So I don't think bringing out a Division 2 is a good move for them.
Same goes with the Siege in Rainbow Six Siege as well, though. Like, they've pumped out new stuff for it each year, but it still boils down to the same thing.
Yeah, but I think Siege has a little bit, like, Siege would be classed as one of the best squad-based shooters in the last 2 or 3 years. And I think like Fortnite, it doesn't need to have different maps and a different story and this, that, and the other. Like, it sticks to what it knows, and it keeps that gameplay, and it's got a huge fan base. Like, I mean,
massive.
All of these games like that Ubisoft release, like, I think the Division will sell really well. I think people are still playing that to this day, but it doesn't really interest me all that much, as well as kind of the same as you guys. The next game from Ubisoft, I have Beyond Good and Evil 2. Was that a Ubi game? Yeah? I never played
I don't know if it's the Ubisoft game.
I never played the original. I think I played snippets of the original, but I don't know. Look, we've been hearing about Beyond Good and Evil 2 for the last couple of years. People seem to be losing their cool over that, but I have I have no interest in that game. Have you played the original?
It is Ubisoft, yeah. The first one is
Oh,
Ubisoft.
Jesus.
Oh, it is Ubisoft. Thank God for that.
Never played the original, but I do have a copy of it for the PS2. There's so many PS2 games I have that I have not played that I need to play.
So nobody cares about Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's
Not as of yet, anyway.
Yeah.
The next big news from Ubisoft, probably the biggest, is we are getting another Assassin's Creed game. It's going to be a follow-on to Origins. I liked Origins, but I don't know how I feel about a game being released a year after Origins. I think with the game before Origins was Syndicate, and they took a break after that game to create a totally new world in Origins, and now it seems that they're going back to the yearly releases, which, like, I think open world games like that need a little bit of time to sit in the market and for people to explore, and then 2 years later bring out something, just a different environment or a different place. I do like the set, and I think it's going to be in Greece, or is it ancient Greece? I think is where the rumor is.
I think the rumor is actually Sparta, to be exact.
Sparta. Is
I
that
could
from the
be
guy
wrong
kicking
now.
the dude off the cliff? Exactly the same as
Yeah, pretty much. But that's what a lot of people are rumoring.
Exactly the same as that terrible movie 300.
Not talk about 300.
Odds on a reference.
I'm a serious Assassin's Creed fan. I've played every single game, even the mini games and the side scrollers.
Okay.
And
Jesus.
this game does not excite me. It doesn't bode well for me now.
Did Origins excite you?
Oh yeah, Origins was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
but I want them to wait another 2 years and do another Bayek game, because we're only really getting to know Bayek now, and we're only really need to getting to know his brotherhood that he's created.
Yeah.
And
so you're wanting something similar to the Assassin's Creed 2 with Brotherhood and Revelations.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But this one is it's made by the Syndicate team, and it was made alongside Origins.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I think they took a year's break, and now they're patting themselves on the back by releasing a game in the year after.
Yeah, I think there's like 9 different teams for them games or something silly like that. But yeah, it's a weird one. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll sell really well. Hopefully, it's not a broken mess like Syndicate was. But
yeah.
So the next game from Ubisoft is mostly rumors, but Splinter Cell is supposedly getting something in the pipeline. And the reason why people think this is because they brought Sam Fisher to Ghost Recon Wildlands as a special play, or it was like a special playable mission. I played it; it was cool. They got the voice from Sam Fisher, the second one, I believe. Iron, what's his name? Does anyone know? Is it something Ironsight or Iron Fist or
Michael Ironside?
Yeah, exactly. He was brought back. I believe he had cancer, and yeah, he got himself cured, and he's back. He's back playing Sam Fisher. So
yeah, he did it for Wildlands, though, didn't he? For that
that's
the mission they did.
Yeah, that's what I said. Wildlands. They brought the kind of DLC out for So that was kind of led people to believe that they're going to bring a new Splinter Cell game to the new consoles. But yeah, I'd be looking forward to that. Something different. You know, the gameplay of Splinter Cell had a real niche kind of customer base, but we'll see what happens. It'll look good anyway. Ubisoft will do it good.
And it's a name everybody knows because everybody played the original Splinter Cell back in Xbox and PS2 days.
Exactly. And they were pretty good, I believe.
All those kind of games. I think all those kind of games like Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell, I think they need like a goodbye game as well, though. Like even in the references in Wildlands, he talks about someone. He says he's the only. When Sam Fisher talks, he says he's the only one. Unless a guy like me, he's actually talking about. People say he's talking about Solid Snake.
Nice.
There's two of them, and then there's Siphon Filter. I'd like to see a Siphon Filter just to wrap that up as well.
I haven't heard of a Siphon Filter in a long time.
I knew that was going to be said.
Great games.
I can't even actually remember the last time I heard anything about a Siphon Filter game. That could come out again.
Anyone who has a copy of the first game, go back and play it and watch how Arch is back at this for the whole game.
So let's move it on from Ubisoft. I think it's going to be a great conference. Looking forward to that one actually, because there's very little information and they could do anything. The next one is there's nothing really concrete with this one. Is the PC Gaming Show. All it is E3's annual showcase of unrevealed games, trailers, and tech coming to PC is back this year. That's the only information we get there. I'm sure there'll be cool little tidbits, possibly a new graphics card, stuff like that. But on to the next one is the big one for me anyway. Is Sony press conference at 2 a.m. in the morning. Jack is the man that's going to be up for that one.
Oh, I'm definitely going to be watching that one.
So let me just run through the list of games that I have for the Sony press conference. I have Spider-Man. Unbelievable. I can't wait to see more of that. Me and my son are going to play that till we get the platinum. I'll definitely get the platinum in that, Jack. I might need your hand for that.
To it, Ronan.
Yeah. We have The Last of Us getting a release day, possibly. It's got to be like we've got to get a release day for that, and possibly some gameplay footage. We have Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, some gameplay and a release date would be really nice. We talked about it earlier. Death Stranding. Kojima is possibly going to be on stage playing that game and giving us a night. Do you know what? I don't actually care what he does, because I just know it's going to be the most interesting thing that you're going to see all weekend.
So he could just come on and do some interpretive dance, and you'd be like, "Yeah, that's brilliant."
Yeah, that's
you
class.
Just walk across the stage, and everybody be like, "Yes!"
That's like so Kojima, and everyone just The next game is Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima. It is the developers are. Who are the developers for that game?
That's a game I'm quite looking forward to, and I just can't remember the name of the developer.
Someone grab up the developer of Ghost of. I believe it's the guys that did Infamous. Anyway, what we have Days Gone is another game that nobody cares about, but we're going to have to see it anyway. And
you were right. It's Infamous's developer, Sucker Punch Productions.
Sucker Punch. That's who I was going with. And I have here. This is one of my own rumors that we are going to get that From Software new IP release right at the very end. We're going to see From Software come up. The whole place is going to lose their shit. I'm going to just drop the mic. So look, that's dreams. But what are you? We all hope. What are you most looking forward to in that list? Seamus, we'll go to you first.
I forgot the list already.
Spider-Man, Last of Us, Red Dead, Death Stranding.
Probably Spider-Man. I feel like there hasn't been a good Spider-Man, like a staple for Spider-Man games long. I also think we're going to see more Spyro and stuff like that. I think all those kind of things are going to be shown as well. Also, I feel like they might show Devil May Cry 5, and if they do, I think that's the one that'll make me fall out of my chair.
Oh, nice. So you want them bringing it back to the old Dante aesthetic, and
I think it's time to bring him back. Yeah, I think it's time that they stop ruining him.
Oh. Take away the emo style. I'd be looking forward to that as well. That's Capcom, isn't it?
Yeah.
So with Capcom, we could possibly be getting the Resident Evil 2 remake as well. That would be very, very awesome. I haven't played that game in years. It used to be one of my favorites, and yeah, to play that game would be sweet. We know it's coming. We've got details that there is a Resident Evil 2 in the making. There has been for a while, so hopefully they bring out something that just looks really cool, and possibly a different angle of character. You're behind the shoulder, something like that would be really cool. Kevin, what are you most looking forward to in the Sony presser?
Definitely has to be Last of Us. It's one of the only games that I've played multiple times. I've even tried the extreme one, which lasted about 40 minutes.
That's the only way I played it, was on the extreme, and I thought it was tough, but there was a lot of sneaking and throwing rocks at clickers. That's all I remember.
I'm really excited about that. Like, me and Patrick had a conversation during the week about what we think the game's going to be about, and he thought that Joel, maybe spoilers, I don't know, that maybe Joel is dead and Ellie has to get revenge on people that killed him. Personally, this is literally my own headcanon. I'm pulling this out of literally nowhere. I think Ellie got pregnant and the Fireflies took her baby and tried to make the cure, but killed the baby. And she's going to kill them all. That's what I think that trailer was.
Okay, so you think the baby
that's my own personal headcanon, because she's covering her stomach.
Yeah.
You don't see, I don't know. I'm getting way up inside my own head about that.
You don't think that's Ellie's mother, no?
I have no idea.
Possibly. But that's the thing. Like, a lot of people were saying that trailer was too gruesome, but I don't know whether you played Last of Us 1, but that game was fucking gruesome. Like,
you were the bad guy in Last of Us. Like,
what's that?
Especially when you got caught by a clicker. My God, was that one gruesome death?
Oh God, them clickers were. What I loved about Last of Us, it's a zombie-esque game, but it's original, and it was the way they had it was based off a real disease that affects, I think it was ants, wasn't it? A fungus that affects the brain of the ant.
Yeah.
And I remember the build up to that game before it was released and reading about that disease, and I thought it was just unbelievably original that they would create a zombie game but make it into something a little bit different and a little bit original. Like, everybody knows what a zombie is, but nobody knew what a clicker was, and it was just something that they could work their game design around. Naughty Dog, again, are a top developer. They haven't released a bad game, I don't think, ever. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one too. Me and my wife played the original. We both loved it. We always said that the giraffe scene was one of our favorite scenes in any video game. It was just the fact that you're going through this like horrific world and you're getting beat after beat after beat, and then you come to that area and it's just that sense of calmness. And yeah, it really just blew me away, that game. Yeah, Sony is gonna light it up, and I think it's gonna be, I think we're going to get a couple of surprises that none of us are going to expect. But look, Paddy Toner, if he was here, he would be saying that he believes that Bloodborne 2 is going to come. I really hope he's right. I think it's time. I think it's a great time after the original Bloodborne. But my personal opinion is we never get to see a Bloodborne 2, but we get to see a spiritual successor, which I think is going to be called Shadows Die Twice. So that's going to be my little prediction for E3 that I hope will come true. But who knows? We're throwing back ideas back and forth here, so who knows who's going to be right? We'll know by next Tuesday we'll know. So bringing us on to Tuesday, June 12th, the last day of the E3 conference, is Nintendo's press conference. And for the first time in a couple of years, I am very excited to see what is going to be coming to the Switch, because I am getting a Switch very soon. My son is actually getting one. We have both played Zelda Breath of the Wild. We absolutely adore that game. I think as far as just the way it's developed and the way it's seamless, and what I like about Zelda is you don't have to think about what you're doing. You're doing it. Like, and my son, he's 6 and he's the same. Like, he just, you see him, he just instantly knows what he's doing. And I think that really screams great game design. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to what Nintendo have. The games here I've mentioned are Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon, possibly that new, is it the new Let's Go Eerie, Let's Go. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's how much I don't really care about Pokemon, but yeah, that game is coming out. But I think there's going to be a couple of Pokemon games to be released on the Switch. That's just the first one to come.
Well, they released one last week. They released Pokemon Quest.
Okay,
last week, and that's kind of like a block art game. It's kind of like a Minecraft-y kind of block art Pokemon game.
What's it like?
I haven't played it. I downloaded it. I meant to play it.
It's all right so far. I've only played maybe about an hour of it myself, and it's something that'll pass the time.
Okay.
Not something I'll sink time into like I would something bigger.
So exactly like Pokemon Go is what you're saying.
Yeah, something that you play to pass time.
This new Pokemon game, it actually annoyed me. Pokemon games are the only games I play on my 3DS. The only reason I have a 3DS is to play the Pokemon games. And this is just, I understand why they're doing it. They want to get everybody played Pokemon Go, even people who don't play Pokemon. and they want to get those people in, buy a Switch, buy a game, and then sell the main sequence game next year, because this is just
more people
glorified Pokemon Go. Like the Pikachu and Eevee you have don't even evolve.
You can dress them up, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That type of game, yeah.
Like they're gonna lose the hardcore people who do all the tournaments and streams and shiny hunting and all that sort of stuff. I don't know.
Give it time.
Yeah,
They'll bring out a Savage game before the end of the Switch generation. I guarantee it.
Oh, there's
Did
one
we
announced for next
Super
year.
Smash?
Anyway, so.
Sorry?
Do we mention Super Smash Bros?
Not yet. That was the next thing I was going to say was Super Smash Bros coming to Switch. Yeah, that's a really kind of big announcement. I think it's a predictable one, but everybody loves Super Smash, and to be able to play that on your Switch and on the go, I think it's pretty cool.
I think they're also showing the Splatoon 2 World Championships during their conference.
Right. I never played Splatoon, so I've no input on that, but that's the one where you kind of spray paint on everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, you can have marked.
It's like a tower defense game or something.
No, it's like I don't really know.
It's like a first-person shooter game. You just you go around the arena and you tag as much of the arena in your color as you can.
Okay.
Trust Nintendo to make an arena shooter game with no violence.
So something similar to one of those modes in Tony Hawk's years ago, where you had to grind and do tricks off of things to color them your color.
Right. Okay. Sounds interesting. What else do we have for Switch? We have the biggest surprise of them all. Fortnite is coming to Switch. We didn't know that wasn't going to happen.
To be fair, Fortnite on the go in that kind of quality in comparison to like on a phone or on a tablet, it probably will actually do quite well.
Yeah. I think so too. And have we mentioned what else are we going to mention about? Yeah, so that's really it for Nintendo. I'm sure they're going to have lots of secrets that they're going to reveal, as they always do. They're a pretty tight-lipped company when it comes to that, and not a lot of
Mario Maker coming out soon.
Mario Maker, I have no idea.
I think that's coming out on the Switch soon as well.
I'm a little bit behind on my Nintendo information.
I think we've lost Jack to the elements.
Nintendo always usually bring a bit of a surprise. Last year, that Rabbids game was...
Yeah.
I think it was out of nowhere, but I could be half remembering it. I don't know. I think it was a surprise, yeah.
I think that game went down pretty well. People that played it that was the kind of XCOM game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Style game, yeah. Something different. That's what I like about Nintendo. They're trying something different with their properties.
We'll probably have a lot of stuff about Labo and stuff like that as well.
What does everyone think of Labo?
Fancy cardboard.
Certainly out of the box.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
I'll just end the show
now. Beat you to that now, to be fair.
Yeah, so I think we've definitely gone over the hour anyway. But look, I really enjoyed chit-chatting and talking about E3. We're going to do a reaction show possibly next Wednesday, and we will be, we'll see if any of our predictions have been right, and if any of the information that we've been given beforehand is right. Probably not, but we'll find out soon enough. And so let's do a couple of shout outs. The first shout out I want to do is just for Player One Gaming. It is a store in Mullingar and Maynooth. There's 2 stores in Ireland, and they sell retro games, used games, and new games for all consoles. A great store. They have great customer service, and just anyone that gets a chance just to check them out. Their range of retro stuff is really impressive, and they sell vinyls as well, which not a lot of people are doing anymore. So, and yeah, the guys in there are just very friendly. Just go in and have a chat with them, and yeah, Player One Gaming, Maynooth and Mullingar. If you guys want to shout out something there, work away. This is your time. Seamus,
I want to give a shout out to Gamerfest. Myself and Ray, a part of the Never Remember the Republic of Gaming, made a trip down there on Saturday, and we were really well received. Like, we had loads of people coming up and talking to us and stuff and getting very interactive with us. We did took some photos with some kids, and we did some stuff with the all Cast Irish gamers and stuff. It was really good. It's really, I'm just sad that no one else really got to come down with us and have a bit of crack. It was a great day out.
Yeah, shout out to all casts as well, friends of the Republic. Entertaining as always, I'd say, Fan Order.
Oh yeah, they were brilliant. No, it was really good. Yeah, I'm just sad it didn't go down on the Sunday as well.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely organise the next big one. We'll all make a trip down and wear the t-shirts and hopefully make a bigger stamp.
Will make an appearance.
Kev, do you want to shout out if you have any plugs to throw in?
I don't know. Hit me up on Twitter at Kevin Toner, and Martoof on YouTube, Martoof TK on Twitch. You know,
Sweet. Jack,
myself,
the Platinum Jack.
Well, if you want to give me a follow on the usual social medias of Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, it's all the same name. It's Waxticles. Bit of a mouthful, I know, and sounds a bit like another word I will not say on the podcast, but
Let's keep it clean, Jack. Let's keep it clean.
That's why I'm saying I won't say it on the podcast.
All right, so without further ado, I want to end the show by thanking everyone that has been a part of this amazing movement. The Republic of Gaming has always been about creating a great community, and without all of you, this simply wouldn't work. From Kevin, Seamus, and Jack, and myself, your host, Ronan Fox, this has been the Republic of Gaming podcast, episode 2, E3 prediction show. Thank you for checking in, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Thanks, lads.
peace out.